Now this morning it'll be really challenging to map out a productive day, sequence up a day. I really want to get the tank installed, but there's some limitations on that. Can't do the seat until I get the tank on. And I got up this morning. They deliver Amazon in the middle of the night here. I get up in the morning, there's 3 packages with motorcycle parts in them. And I got the new washers from Luciano. Thank you for the tank. I am getting ready. I'm getting a slow start this morning. There's almost nothing left on the project table here. But there's a lot in the garage. Boy, the last couple of days it's really coming together. Now look, there's a sight for sore eyes. All my microfibers totally laundered, cleaned, folded. I feel like I'm in a military here. Yeah, we had a pretty invigorating day the last couple days, so we're going to need some extra coffee today. There's always some signs that you can tell the weather is changing in this part of the country. Number one, the algae bloom that we always have in the spring in the pond is pretty much gone now. And when the fish start moving around like that, they're going to start getting hungry. I guess within a week or so we'll be feeding them. It's a great time of year. And anybody that's a gardener or has a garden knows this time of year we have little sprouts coming up. Look everywhere. And these pots of course have to be done. Sprouts everywhere. So it's going to be difficult sequencing up how I want to do this. I have to open up those packages of stuff, make sure I have what I need. The tank, there's an issue I want to do with the tank. I wanted to put fuel in it and let it sit for an hour or so and make sure that all the parts that go around that petcock are sealed tight. I don't want to put it on there and have the gas dripping on everything. Also, if I did get that little master cylinder that goes up, I'd like to put that on first, because anytime you're working with brake fluid, I cover the motorcycle with old towels, but I won't have the tank in the way. It'll just make it a little bit easier. But last couple days, it's been an exciting time. And I'm already at the part of the assembly that I can start to see what this is going to look like when it's all put together. And that should happen relatively quickly now. But again, it's that same old thing. I really never want to rush. I never want to be tempted to rush. It's supposed to rain all day today. I was thinking if it was nice I'd get a ride, but it's already raining out there. And it won't be long before our FZR will be back in the pitching rotation here. I hope very soon. Boy, if you followed along with this project from the very beginning, you know how it really took on a life of its own. It's consumed about 6 months or 700 hours up to this point. Probably by the time it's done, it's going to be up near more like 800. But I think it's just been a wonderful project for me. And at my age, I have to stay busy. And I've seen several of my friends that retired and did not stay busy. Did not play out well for them. So once I get back from Home Depot, we'll start figuring out what exactly we want to do here. It'll be a fun day to sequence up here. Well, what could be more fun than starting off your work day with a big trip to Home Depot? What could be more fun? Now, when you live in a 100-year-old house, you get used to spending a lot of time at Home Depot and Lowe's. This tells you what time of year it is. Holy mackerel. Not only do we have to go to Home Depot, we got to go to Lowe's too. Oh my God, it's already started. It's springtime. So back from Home Depot and Lowe's, we got a bunch of supplies that we need for our 100-year-old house. A lot of honeydew projects coming up soon. But here's what I wanted to do. Hopefully one of those packages that I have downstairs will have the master cylinder. I always, anytime I fool with anything with brake fluid, cover up the paint. That's why I'm doing it before I put the fuel tank on. I'd like to get that all figured out, see if that line is going to have to be replaced, if I have to make brackets. Probably going to get rid of this bracket just to make some room for the mirrors. I think one of the things that's really important here when I do this, I want to have this view from where I would be shooting video. See, I always had the carbon fiber windshield, so you never got to see the scenery, I guess is the right word. But now, that should all change. And another thing, I got a place in order for various hardware from Bolt Depot. You would think I don't need any hardware. Well, that's not true. Here's the problem. I stopped and I looked, and I know Luciano buys a lot of stuff in Home Depot. I look and they're like 4 nuts for $1.29. And when I get them from Bolt Depot, they're like 3 cents each. So, I don't know. But I wanted to show this. This is what I wanted to get more of. Whoop, as he dropped it. These are real convenient when you're doing a restoration, because if you can get a nut that you don't have to hold with a wrench behind certain parts where you're putting it together, these are really handy to have. And I did get all of these from Bolt Depot. But I'm down to only having 1 or 2 of each size. And then I like to think part of being an efficient restorer is when you see you're down to the last 1 or 2 or 4 or 5, always have a couple of spares. You're never in trouble when you save all the hardware. Home from doing all these errands, and boy, anybody who lives in an old house knows this house is 110 years old, I think. Now this is always funny. Whenever I look at something, I like to look right away, because here's always the problem. It says black on the label. I've had things that say black and you open up and it's green. I really wanted black. Oh, this looks beautiful. Nice and small. Now, people don't realize you don't need a big giant, you don't need a quart bottle. This is plenty. In fact, you don't even need this. If you kept the fluid in the line, as long as there's fluid going in. Oh, nice little clamp. Not sure we can polish. Look at this. It even has the matching bolt that I use. So we'll have a matching bolt. Wow, that's going to be nice. So obviously, once in a while, you look out from, I hope this is going to fit exactly the way I want, which usually the stuff is pretty good. I shouldn't complain. And what it does, if you buy these parts, you know, and they're made somewhere, look at its racing components. Can you imagine? Maybe we could grind that off. What does this say? 1 piston fluid tank for clutch or brake. I always like what they put on. Do not eat with chopsticks. Yep. This should be the right size. The clamp, obviously, I'm going to run this on a polishing wheel just for my own fun and games. Go out and install this puppy. No, the thing polished up relatively nice. Little details, and every time you add a little detail, you don't realize it, but people do notice the details. So the first step is just to loosen that bolt, get this off, and not drip any of the fluid onto the paint. That's why we have all the 3 layers of old towels. It's a good way to always think of brake fluid as paint remover, especially when you're around something that you spent a long time restoring. So we'll get this off very, very carefully. Now I have to see if this line is going to be interchangeable. If it's the same exact diameter, I don't really know till I take it apart. Now, with the old line disconnected, and they do look like the same size, I can figure out what the choices I have for mounting that here. The only requirement is that it's higher than, you can't mount it on the floor of the bike. It should be higher than the part here that's actually actuating the brakes. So it's constantly feeding fluid into it and bleeding out the air. And anytime I do a job like this, I know I have a lot of choices, but I need to really do this right, because this clearance thing, see, I've obviously changed the handlebars. It's not as easy and straightforward as you think, because we're we're basically dealing with, we have to put a big twist in the line. So what I'm going to try to do is find from my line of brake line stuff the most flexible tubing I can find here. And because I'm a shit saver, I have saved everything. There should be some tubing in there that I can use that'll make this bend conveniently. It's under no pressure, so it's not really a problem, but you never want to have a thing dripping brake fluid down onto your paint. Now, of course, this clear line is rated for brakes and fuel, so both. So, and it's flexible enough. But now this is going to allow me to position this, and I need to get it, see, I need to get it away from the windshield. So what I'm looking to do, if I possibly have to, is make a little bracket similar to the one I had on the motorcycle. In fact, I'm going to go back to my bucket of brackets. I may have one already made and polished up. Sometimes you win on these things. The trouble is with the thicker tubing, it wants to kink. So in this case, I had a lot of choices because I save most of the stuff I bought. Like if I need to buy a foot of brake line, I buy 3 feet, so I have some in inventory. You can see I've got a whole roll of fuel line over there because I don't want to have anything old on these bikes. Anything to do with fuel or brakes. Because I've made literally hundreds of mounts for cameras. These are all basically camera mounts, but I never throw them away because, as an example, something we might be able to use here. You never know what you're going to find in the junk bucket here. We'll look around. I'm sure we're going to find something. Oh, here's one. This looks almost like exactly what I need. Now, just to use this one for a pattern, I need to grind a lot around there. I can't have that hole in the middle. So the easiest way to do this, of course, is just to go down to the cellar and grind away. It takes more time than you think to make these little parts, but once they're done, it makes the whole project that much nicer. Now, after grinding this and polishing it and everything, I realize maybe I could have even used, or maybe I will use, a chain link. I have an extra chain link. We'll see how this looks, and if the chain link looks better or works. See, it has to fit around there to do exactly what I want to do. It's not as easy as, it's not a straightforward thing. See, it has to go around. If you just made this a straight piece, it'll interfere here. So it's a little complicated, but we got that piece in place. Now I got to get this to, because I want this to sit straight up and down. I don't want it to sit off to an angle. I'd like it to sit straight up and down if possible. So, may require a little fine-tuning. Now, I had both of these. I had a Regina chain link in this piece that I made, and it looks like the chain link, I like the way the chain link looks better. So, should have done that right in the beginning, but that is a good way to make something. Now, the only thing wrong with a chain link is to drill a hole. You got to use a real slow drill speed and have a good quality drill, of course. And that went just about as good as you could. Now, another good trick, whenever you have soft tubing, any tubing actually, warm it. I want to measure that up. How much I need, warm it with a hairdryer. The idea, this is delicate, and so is the fitting on here. You don't want to put any more stress on that than necessary. That's going to be a nice, boy, is that going to be a nice upgrade. Instead of looking at that big, the bigger one. Now we're just going to wait when that bleeds down. Now I bled the brakes from up on top here. I just need to top off the fluid. Make sure the lever is solid. We don't have any air coming up out of there. That should be fine. This worked out to be a nice little installation. And boy, what an improvement from the area when you sit on a motorcycle. It looks so much nicer. Oh, that is really nice. And the brakes pumped up nice. Everything on that installation. $14. $14.95, I think. That's a nice little improvement. Now, as long as I got a few minutes left in the day, what I wanted to do is I want to take this bracket off anyway. We're not going to be using that camera mount. That'll free us up for the next time we work on it. One less thing we have to do. Well, we really took advantage of a great day today. This really changed the whole look of when you're sitting on a motorcycle. And to me, that's so important. Everything looks like it belongs now. Really nice. Still have to do the mirrors. Have to do the tank. I'm waiting for the tank for the end because it's vulnerable while I'm working on the bike. I don't want to scratch it, as you can imagine. But tomorrow we get a break from working on this. Tomorrow is going to be a riding day. It's supposed to go and be a really spring day. I guess we'll see. And I've got an email from several people that want to do meetups and run-bys and who knows what, and rob a bank or whatever. Never quite sure. Anyway, the one of the things I wanted from this modification, I wanted that feeling that when you were riding a bike, and to me, having the handlebars I want, everything just the way I want. The only thing I don't like right now, these mirrors don't do much for me. They're better than no mirrors, but that's about it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know they're in the package down there right now, but at the end of every day I do this oogly thing. I look around and I say, boy, 6 months ago I had a concept drawing. I had a picture in my mind of what I wanted this to look like. It's better than I could have ever imagined. It really is just better than I could have ever imagined. So I hope, even if you followed right from the very beginning, I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something, maybe shared something even better, and that we'll see you on the next video. So thanks for watching.